Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, and this is my tier list right now for Rome Total War Remastered. If you don't know, I am currently playing through every single faction in Rome Total War, either in a short or long campaign, in an effort to make a really well-informed and well-constructed tier list. So right now, I have Horse Archery tier as a thing. I'm convinced, after even briefly using their mercenaries, that they're not just automatically at least in B tier, they're probably all automatically S tier factions. In fact, the biggest argument against that is they all start on the same part of the map, and therefore might have to fight other Horse Archer factions. So, of the three, today I'm going to be playing Scythia to test the Horse Archery tier theory. Since they all play very similarly, I'm only playing one in a long campaign. That's going to be Armenia sometime in the future. Today, we're going to be doing a short campaign of Scythia. Now, as always, episode 0, what we're doing right now, is the analysis episode. We look at our roster, we look at our starting position, figure out what we should do. And of course, I'm going to be playing on huge unit scale, very hard, very hard. Most remaster settings are on, but I like population being a mechanic you have to worry about, and I hate merchants in trade, simply because as the player, it's never optimal to make them, and as an AI, they make them all the time, despite not needing them because of their massive economic bonuses from very hard difficulty. So I just sit around watching merchants move around, and they don't help anything. Okay, so before we get into Scythia's campaign map, we have to go look at their roster, which I promise you is very complicated. Okay, so this is Scythia's unit roster, and it's pretty easy to quickly narrow down what we're doing. We're not doing peasants, we're not doing dudes with axes, we're not doing dogs, and onagers would be cool, but we're not going to be building up to onagers anytime soon. And these two units are generals, so obviously we want as many as possible, but we're not really in control of that. So now we have two kinds of light cavalry, one kind of heavy cavalry, three kinds even of missile cavalry. When you actually look at the stats on all of these, well, the only reason you'd ever have archers is to carry the ram. You could probably just hire mercenaries for that, right? So you're left with this roster of cavalry. I'm not entirely sure what they're all from, but I do know this. The horse archers are from tier 1. They have missile attack 7 and 4,000 ammo. I can get better horse archers. Only not really, huh? Because they have missile attack 8, sure, but they have 1,000 less ammunition, and these guys have way less ammunition. So in terms of just shooting arrows, my tier 1 horse archer has the most and is therefore the best. And horse archers are the best unit. And this is at a tier 1 stables, which all of my cities start out with. So what is Scythia's roster, you ask? It's that, with one slot for a general and one slot to hire some dude on the spot to carry the ram. We're not a complicated faction. This will be the fastest session 0 we do.
We are children of the steppe. Our territories are vast, desolate, and home to many tribes, but a place where none truly thrive. None save the Scythians. The Greeks have noticed our greatness, and before long, all the world will tremble at our
Yeah, he's got that last part right.
It is Scythia that history will remember, and it is Scythians who will escape the endless horizon and crash down upon the world like a great wave, sweeping all before
I have never been more on board with an opening cutscene. This is actually what we're doing.
To realize our destiny is now. Let every man and woman saddle their horse, take up their bow, and ride to the ruin of the civilized world.
Right on, man. This guy gets it. So as Scythia, complete opposite of the Seleucids, we start out right here. 2 archers, 3 horse archers. 1 general, 3 horse archers. 2 archers, but it's fine. They're so far away I'm never using them for anything. I'm just going to disband this guy. I might disband both of them. What's your upkeep compared to a peasant? 170 compared to 100. It takes 150 to recruit them. Yeah, this pays for itself pretty much immediately. And I can see that they'll have 80% garrison, right? Oh, no, they won't. They'll probably have around 45% garrison. It looks like that'll be fine, though. I'll just take these units, get rid of them. This diplomat is in a terrible spot. The closest thing he is to is Parthia. We're just gonna have him start walking down towards Armenia instead. There's a chance Parthia attacks. In a long campaign, you're gonna do the same thing I'm doing in this short campaign, which is fucking ignoring that possibility. You have one city over here that is turns away from your nearest city. It's simply not worth doing anything with it. So I just quickly tested it. I was pretty sure very high tax rate was optimistic. High tax rate is all you can get away with. So something very funny is if I didn't construct this peasant, right? If I just lowered the tax rate, the extra population from disbanding those archers is enough to upgrade the settlement. I'm not going to do that. That's money I don't want to spend on something I don't care about. I'd much rather make peasants and increase the taxes and not grow the city. After all, I can already recruit the one unit I care about. Now, this is very much a short campaign problem, but these units are simply irrelevant. In a long campaign, I'd be trying to fight Campus Seke up here with them from Parthia. I suppose I should toggle Fog of War to talk about all this. They've got a similar horse archer stack up here. There's actually a hard fight to be had. And then I can worry about coming down and fighting Parthia and Armenia. There's actually uses for this city. In a short campaign, though, there really isn't. They're simply too far away to justify keeping. So we'll make one peasant, and the garrison should be fine, right? Yeah, they're going to be perfectly okay. I'm going to quickly crank the taxes to very high and see how they fare. The answer is not well. In fact, I know they're not going to handle it very high, so let's drop it to high and see if they can live with that, or if I need to stay at low. So this settlement's only going to be okay at normal, I think. Although I will be lowering this city's taxes all the way to low, simply to have this general start leaving. He's just useless on the eastern front. I don't care about it at all. Although there is an argument to be made that I might want to consider having him like stop here and build a fort. You know, in case this gets taken eventually. I don't, though. It's simply not a concern. At this point, I've disbanded most of my starting armies, which is, you know, pretty suboptimal. But it's gonna be just fine. This army is on its own enough to conquer Dacia and Thrace. What I'm actually interested in, though, is whether or not I can get them to sally forth against this army. I'm sure if I send the whole thing, they won't. But I think if I send just 3 horse archers, they might. So let's go test that real quick. Yeah, Thrace tries to sally forth if you send just your horse archers on turn 1, which is going to be very funny. Let me quickly demonstrate why I don't really take planning Scythia too seriously. Okay, so we're just going to put it at double speed and win the fight now. It's not going to be hard. Yep, here come their units. Here they come. I can actually do better than this by shooting directly into their flanks. I should have gotten around the front. Why have these guys scattered like this? I need to slow time down so I can get better control over this. Yeah, even with their general surprising me by coming around the side like this, it's just hilariously one-sided, isn't it? Like, Thrace thought they could win this. They believed that they were ahead. And I've got terrible news for them. And especially for their dead-as-fuck general. Actually, I think this was their faction leader. Like, it's brutal, isn't it? What are they supposed to do about this? What's anyone supposed to do about this? At this point, I can just crash in on all 3 sides and stop wasting arrows.
The warlord of the enemy army is running like a startled goat. Hunt him. Goats make good eating. The enemy warlord is dead, slain by your brave warrior. This is no longer a battle. This is a hunt. No, a coward.
This is why I talked about horse archery tier. I didn't take very many wounds, did I? And I'd argue that every wound I took was user error.
The enemy have been utterly broken. This
actually might get me a man of the hour since it's heroic victory. This wasn't very heroic though, was it?
Victory!
Yeah, we're going to be
Conquest.
Actually, we're going to be enslaving. I wanted to exterminate, but we're going to enslave. We're going to need the population in Campus Scythia and Campus Getty to recruit more units. We do not, unfortunately, get what I was hoping for, which is man of the hour. Doesn't really matter though. So, that's the end of me talking about wars. There's gonna be a whole lot of that against every town I fight. Just sending horse archers to bait sallies and then crushing them. It's gonna be real fucking sad. Let's quickly go over the beginning of our infrastructure one time and talk about what the rest of our armies are doing. And the answer is probably just coming in this direction to catch up. So obviously in this settlement, we should be recruiting a horse archer. And actually, we should have one group of archers heading out this way as well to eventually garrison the next city. Because we don't have time to make anything such as peasants for garrison. We're busy making horse archers. Here in Denias, we definitely need to make a unit of peasants. Although, honestly, I'd much rather make horse archers for the time being, and hope they can catch up at some point. We can see that 1 unit of horse archers is enough to keep high taxes, at least for a little while. And I'm going to test one thing before I end this campaign, or end this planning session, because that's really all there is to it. Make horse archers in these 2 cities. I guess I should be doing it in Campus Sarmatia as well. It's not that much further away. But I want to see how many horse archers I need to send down to conquer this settlement. It's probably only like 2. So, let's go see what's actually in this city. Oh, it's 1 unit of horse archers and 2 units of peasants. So I could probably win this by just sending 2 horse archers, but that's such a large part of the army. I'd probably rather just win it by fighting it. I'll be honest, it seems like a thing where I could have this general catch up, pick these up, and then do it. Because by then Campus Getae should have been able to make a port and send a boat over. That sounds pretty optimal to me. And honestly, that's the end of me feeling the need to plan. Like, you saw what happened in Campus Getae. That was a turn 1 city conquered. It was the capital of Thrace, I believe. I'm pretty sure this is their capital by default and not the one down here, Tylus. It's just like, I don't need to plan that much for these guys. I really don't. So I'm going to call it here. I've been rather incoherent. This has been the planning phase for Scythia and Rome Total War Remastered. And it's going to be a fucking stomp. This is probably going to be my shortest series of videos for any Rome Total War campaign. Anyway, I'm done for now. If you like the video, then subscribe and all that jazz. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next one.